Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is my new top 3 drop spots for Fortnite Chapter 5 since the last update. I will also have links to my other drop spot videos in the description down below. So the very first drop spot is on the edge of Grand Glacier, just at the very end of the mountain here. Now the plane crash site used to be here, and now it has fallen down since the ice has been melting into the water down below. I'm going to pop up some gameplay footage on the side here so you can see what it used to look like. For the most recent update, there's actually a pretty good place to fight in zero build, as there was a lot of good cover around the plane crash site. But now, as you can see, it's pretty barren. The only thing left is 3 slurp barrel spawns and 2 chests and sometimes a motorbike. So I definitely recommend avoiding fighting near the old crash site. But if you use the zipline and go to the cabin down below, there is 3 guaranteed slurp barrel spawns inside and several chest spawns as well. They've also added an NPC here who will give you a free healing item if you talk to her. She can also heal you via patch up for gold. She also sells Flowberry Fizz bottles for 150 gold and the lock-on pistol for 100 gold. And you can still loot the plane crash site in the water. You will find a few weapon spawns just floating about in the water. There is 4 slurp barrel spawns, which you can get, as well as 4 chests, which you can also still loot, although it is a little bit more difficult to loot this plane crash than it was previously, and there is now less loot than there was before. If you enjoy playing builds mode, the plane is a really good thing to farm if you're looking to max out your metal mats. The only real downside to this location now is it's a little bit more difficult to loot, and it really sucks to fight here now that the plane is underwater. You definitely want to try to avoid fighting somebody while you're looting the plane. Also, if you don't end up getting the loot you were hoping for or good enough loot, you can also kill the NPC and she will drop you 2 blue weapons. Most NPCs on the map will actually drop 2 blue weapons if you defeat them, which is a very useful tip to know if you end up getting garbage loot and there's one of them around. There's also a porta potty outside the cabin which you can use to travel both ways to and from the cabin to Grand Glacier. And when you pop out of that porta potty, you can always go check this deer's butt, see if it poops you out some good loot, or if you're left with a bunch of crap. Now they've also added a Ninja Turtles vending machine in front of Grand Glacier, where you can buy pizza or Ninja Turtle mythics. There's also a bounty board inside of Grand Glacier. Grand Glacier is also the home to the mythic boss Montague, and his medallion, which you can use to get into the vault and customize your weapons, get some free gold, and some more good loot in here, as well as you can get his mythic assault rifle. If you manage to defeat him and his henchmen and any other players who might be contesting you, I will have links to other videos down below showing you how to fight these bosses effectively. There's also a regular vending machine out front which you can also make use of if you need a few extra heals. So as you can see, this location is a very strong drop spot after the new update, as you're guaranteed full health and shield every single time, and good loot and really good timing in order to third party the boss at Grand Glacier or make it there before anyone else. And this location also is a fishing spot, so you can use explosives if you find any, such as clinger grenades or EMPs, to quickly farm fast heals as well. And now you can skip the vending machine at the front of Grand Glacier. Use the porta potty for a much faster and more efficient rotation, and there's also a forecast tower nearby. And that brings us to our second drop spot location. This one's near the top right corner of the map on this little island, and now barely anybody ever comes here, and it's kind of near the windmills on the water. Now there's tons of loot on these windmills on the top and bottom with zip lines to get across them, so you can have your duo go on the top and you on the bottom and search some of the windmills. There's also like a oil refinery at the end with a slurp truck, so you can also add that in if you're doing a squadscape as part of a split drop. But now what makes this spot very powerful is, you see I took that porta potty over. Now this porta potty here does go both ways. Now on this island you'll find a fireplace as well as a cooler spawn. And there's also usually 4 to 5 chest spawns as well. There's also 5 slurp barrel spawns as well as quite a bit of floor loot. And everything is in a very small area, as the island is quite small and in close proximity to each other. But now where their spot really shines is for people who play builds, as there is so many things you can break on this island in order to get all your materials up very quickly. So you can easily leave this island every single time with full brick every game right off spawn when you drop. There's also a bunch of stuff that's washed up on the shore from past Fortnite seasons which you can break, and these items that have washed up tend to give quite a few mats when you hit them. And it still gets even better than that as well. As you're probably thinking, well, why would I want to land this far off the map in an area so secluded and be running from the storm the whole game? Well, there's another zip line which leads up the mountain, and there's another porta potty which you can only take one way. And this porta potty allows you to travel a very far distance very quickly, and it brings you out at one of those underground bunker locations with the weapon crate spawns, which is fairly close to classy courts and a mini vault location. So now you have a high chance for 3 more really good weapons. There's also more slurp and slap barrel spawns at this location, as well as a few more chests, a bounty board, and this entire place is made out of metal. So if you farm the machinery pieces around this location, you're going to be able to max out your metal if you're a builds player also very quickly. And with the new update, they've also added an NPC here who sells riot shields for 250 gold and medkits for 125 gold. If you're a zero builds player, you won't have to farm any mats. So if you take that porta potty, you can also get the jump on players who just landed at this location to go for the weapon crate spawns, and they don't really expect you, as I did not see you gliding down with them. So here you can see where the island is, and now I'm marking where the porta potty brings you to. And now this is the mini vault location with the guard that you can take out to get the key card to get some even more loot. There's also cars in front of the factory location once you come out of the porta potty from the island, which you can use to make it here very quickly. If you break the white metal towers around this location too, there's a bunch of chests on them, so you can get a lot of loot very quickly and it'll just fall down from the sky, which is kind of cool. Plus all of the gold and whatever else might be inside the vault as well, making this spot and this loot path have way than more enough loot for an entire squad. There's also jump pads on the mountains near this location to help you rotate easier as well. And you can also form your own loot paths based off which way the bus is going and depending on where the storm is going on that particular game. And now we're on to the last drop spot in this video, which is actually the most powerful one, and it's been in the game for a while, and even I did not realize how good this drop spot was at first. It's located at this house near Hazy Hillside and the radio towers, and the Hope NPC is also at this location. What makes this spot so good is that it's located central map and it has a lot of loot. And there's also so many entrances and exits to this location, making it perfect to land in solos, duos, trios, or squads. It's also one of the very safest spots to land on at the map. As you see here, you can go down the zip line to get to the middle, or you can even take this porta potty to get in and out. So if an opponent beats you to this drop, it gets down before you can always cut them off with the porta potty. Now let's say they're really beating you to the punch here, you can even veer off and then still go down through the train tunnels here. There's usually a few chests in this tunnel to loot, and there's also always 4 slurp barrels which you could use to get your shields up. You also have access to the train if you need to use it for rotate or to get more loot, and it's also just an awesome spot as your whole entire team can land at different spots here, but still all meet up at the very same place. Now, inside the bottom level of the building, there is plenty of floor spawns for you to grab, as well as 7 more barrels for you to get your shields up. There's also these little tiny rooms that you can go through these vents to get into, and each of these rooms has a chance for a chest spawn, as well as ammo crates. Not to mention, this entire location is made out of metal and brick, so you can get a lot of mats if you're playing builds mode. And it's also very easy to just build protection in this area to keep people out, if you need time to res a teammate or to heal or something like that. There's also a chance for coolers to spawn at this location, I believe up to 2, so that gives you a chance to get shieldfish or floppers, so you can have some fast heals in your inventory as well. This location is also close to not 1, but 2 Fort Cast tower spawn locations, giving you a very high chance to know where Storm Circle is going to go every game, and there is also cars sometimes out front which you can also use to rotate. And now it's time to get into the true power of this location. So this location also has the Hope NPC who you can talk to get a free healing item. She also sells grapple blades, which is permanent mobility for the entire game for 400 gold, and rifts for 250. And this particular rift gives you access to a lot more than you think. Not only can you use it to rotate easily or to get to those forecast towers I mentioned earlier, you can also use it to hit 2 different vaults or even Hazy Hillside to hit the Jonesy's underground bunker location with the weapon crates. And you can hit the building with the stash house perfectly every time. Just do be careful, as other players might be trying to get to these weapon crates just like you are. But you shouldn't have too many troubles, as you're going to have the heals from the coolers with the fish for fast heals, which came in clutch here actually, and probably better loot than they do just landing hot at this location. As you can see, I already have a really solid loadout, and I've just landed. And now they've also added a Ninja Turtles vending machine here for Ninja Turtle Mythics and for pizza, which is also an amazing healing item. And this drop spot just keeps on giving, because there's also a mini vault location just on the other side of this POI, where you only have to kill one guard to get down to a mini vault, which is going to have one rare chest, some gold, and a couple other chests for you to loot. There's also a vending machine for regular heals outside of this building, as well as a bounty board, which you can use to track down some more opponents. And Hazy Hillside is also loaded with vehicles for mobility and has a very high chance to be a hotspot with drones. But let's rewind back and go talk to Hope again and see where else we could have been. So you could also make it to Reckless Railways perfectly by using that rift that you buy from her. Reckless Railways is home to the Valeria boss, and you can get the Hyper SMG here as well as her medallion, and you can get into her vault, and there's also another underground location here with the weapon crates. Reckless Railways is always a pretty chaotic location, and it's very dangerous to be anywhere near that center plaza or to come across that bridge. The spot is also pretty difficult to land at, as there's just so many places for people to hide with so many buildings and just so much high ground that you're going to have a high advantage by coming here already looted up and with health and heals on you. To mention where you end up landing is actually probably the best spot to fight the boss from, as her Hyper SMG can really fry your health so quickly, close quarters, and it gives you a lot of cover to be able to take out the guards easily. Plus, all the other players are going to land on the other side of the POI and have to make their way to you, and are likely going to end up fighting each other or fighting some of the guards outside of this vault. So you're going to have way less of a chance of getting third-partied. And likely any player you do run into is going to be weak, in shambles, low on ammo, and scrounging for apples and bananas just to try to get some health up, making them very easy for you to eliminate. Before we continue on here, don't forget to hit that like button or consider subscribing if this video has helped you out. And oh boy, we're back talking to Hope again, and I really did save the best spot for last. So I had no idea that from coming from that rift, that you could actually make it to fencing fields. And this is by far the very best way I have found in order to land at fencing fields, defeat Nisha, and take the Mythic Striker all for yourself. And I've seen no one else show off this method in a video. So now I did veer off here to check this house to see if I can get the medic bot, but unfortunately I did not see their symbol there, so someone had already bought them. If you don't detour at all though, you can end up making it to this outer shed building right here that has 5 slurp barrels inside. That is just a quick zip line across in order to make it to another little shed that has 3 more slurp barrels. And you're going to be full HP, fully looted, and showing up while everyone else has already killed half the guards and been fighting each other and are all weak and distracted with the boss. You're going to have perfect timing for this every single time. Just show up, clean up any stragglers, take out any remaining guards, third party, whoever might be still fighting the boss, which is just going to be so easy. And then just take out Nisha and take everything for yourself. You don't have to deal with the chaos, all the footprints, running around trying to heal, trying to escape, dying because you think that's a guard's footprints and it's really a real player. I'm sure if you try this method, you're going to have a much higher success rate of conquering fencing fields. But that'll be it for this video. I'm Big Papa Smurf, 187, and I'm out. Thanks for tuning in, and have fun gaming. And don't forget to comment down below if you have any strategies or tips and tricks you'd like to share with me as well, as I'd love to hear them. Bye!